Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United lose 4-0. 4-0 to Crystal Palace. Another defeat, another humiliation. You've got a big choice to make tonight. Get your comments in, get in on the poll if you're watching live. Is it Ten Hag in? Is it Ten Hag out? I'm not here to dictate to any of you. This is your community. This is your football club. Express your opinions. It's a free-for-all. I'll say that. What I will say is that if I was a Man United player, whether I'm Anthony, Rasmus, Johnny Evans, Mainu, players I like, or players I think need to go, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Eriksen, you should be clubbing in tonight and paying for every Manchester United fan's ticket who went to that game tonight. Let's call it out. Let's be honest. That is a cowardice. That is a shambles. That is not Manchester United. Somebody tried to tell me that Mason Mount deserved a 7 out of 10, 6 being the average. Arse talk. Nobody. Whatever you think about the Glazers, Ineos, Ten Hag, Tuchel, De Zerbi, no Man United player performed better than a 4. If 6 is the average, no Man United player performed more than a 4. It was a cowardly performance. I'll call it when I see it. I've done it before. Everton under Ollie. Cowards. Don't trust them. Tonight, I don't trust them. And it's a shame. It's a really big shame because we're going to have a lot of home truths in the next 20 minutes or so. Look, in relation to the results, I'm not shocked. Check my Twitter. Check the show last night. Check the show this morning. What did I say? We will lose. We will lose this game. And the basis on that has got nothing to do with the performance tonight. It's got nothing to do with who the manager is. I said Crystal Palace are a really well-organised team. They've got a goalkeeper, a right back, a left back, 2 centre-backs, 3 midfielders and a front 3. Every position has a player in it and a structure and a system. Man United have got no fit centre-backs. They've got no left back. They've got no midfield. It doesn't work. Crystal Palace are at home. Their structure will beat our misfits. I knew it would happen. But what I did say is, if these players can somehow, David versus Goliath, miraculously get a result, they have an opportunity tonight to be heralded as Man United players. And they failed. They failed massively. I knew they would lose. I knew that there was a massive chance we would lose. But you hold on to that hope because you support this football club. And they failed, predictably. Worse than I predicted. I said we'd lose 2-0. I thought we'd put up a fight, but ultimately the system and the structure would come through. What we actually did is supersede what I even expected. We were even worse than I thought. And you can talk about changing the manager, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And you can talk about the future plan of the football club. But I would say 2 things tonight. They should definitely club together and pay for every away tickets fan. If I had the money, I'd fucking do it. And it's nothing to do with me. And I'm sure you would as well. Fucking shambles. And nobody should be scared of that. Man United's a powerful football club. It's a powerful brand. But interviews, opportunities, shirts with their name on, fuck it. You're the people that matter. You're the people that really suffer. That's a shambles tonight. It's cowardly. And I'm looking at players clapping the fans. I'm sorry. You can clap fans, but you're fucking shit. You are shit. Inexplicably concentration shit. That's what I don't deal. I don't care about the Cleversons and the Obertons and the McTominays, whatever. Limited footballers who give their all but aren't Man United players, I can forgive. You're not good enough. But what I can't forgive is players that are far better than what they are on the pitch for Manchester United at the moment. Christian Eriksen, absolute shadow of the player he is. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, absolute shadow of the player he is. Casemiro, like Calvin Phillips is better than you. Onana, mate. Fucking mate. 2 of those goals are, I'd expect to save them. The second goal From 20 yards out, I would expect to save that on my front post. It's a disgrace. And then the fourth goal from Alisi, fucking rubbish. Like, look, he's been better, but, and I don't do a told you so, it's pointless. I told you so is for idiots tonight, but I said, keep De Gea, don't bring another goalkeeper in. And I'm sorry, categorically, take your clips from last season. People are talking about McKenna from 2 years ago. Hold on a minute. Let's stop talking about McKenna from 2 years ago. Let's talk about De Gea from a year ago. Let's talk about every fucking hipster who clipped him up and shouted about getting a sweeper keeper in. Idiots, Phil. Fucking idiots. You got it wrong. Own it. Own it. Own it. I'm more than happy. I said Van Dijk to Liverpool was going to be the next Chris Smalling. He's been one of the world's best centre-backs. I got it wrong. You got it wrong. Your obsession for a sweeper keeper was fucking wrong. Sweat it. Own it. Getting rid of De Gea is on Ten Hag. Getting rid of De Gea is on Man United. Getting rid of De Gea is on every United fan who wanted to get rid of him. Stupidity. Stupidity. Onana, basic goalkeeping skills are missing. Whether he can find them again, he ain't a proper goalkeeper, mate. He is not a proper goalkeeper. If we can play out from the back, maybe we'll see what he's all about. But his basic goalkeeping skills are shambolic. Like, they're basically shooting at an empty net. Two of those shots, you look at it and you go, how the fuck has that gone in? Terrible. But Casemiro, fucking terrible. First goal, tackling Casper the Ghost. Fourth goal, trying to run it out of play and gets tackled. Shambolic. 300 grand a week for that. 140 grand a week for Ericsson. God knows what playing Onana. 200 grand a week for Anthony. Fucking cowards. Mate, I'm not protecting you. Forget it. No way. No fucking way. This football club means something. It means something. People died coming back from matches for it. It was in the fucking mud. It was rebuilt to something. It didn't win a fucking league title for 20 years and then it rebuilt it. Fuck off. Go away and don't come back. Earn your money somewhere else. If you can't be asked to wear a Man United shirt to the level that we expect, go forth and prosper. Fuck off. Simple as that. And also, let's not forget, there is a level of respect for these shit players who played tonight for actually putting the shirt on in the first place. They might put it on and not perform, but at least they put it on. This is so reminiscent of 2 years ago under Ranić and under Mourinho and under Ollie. Injuries. There is no fucking way on God's earth that all those injuries are legit. No fucking way. Come at me. Try it. There's no fucking way. There are players. We've got more injuries now than we've had all season. And we've had the worst injury crisis we've ever had. There is no way that some of those players wouldn't be fit if it was a title run-in or the Euros were tomorrow. Like, we have got players who don't fancy it. And we've had this 2 years ago. Like, this is a common occurrence. It's called weak mentality. And I know players, past and present, and there are players who go, oh, I don't think I can play for a couple of weeks, and the physios can't do anything about it. So there are players who don't even fancy playing for this club at the moment. Let's call it for what it is. They're cowards. On and off the pitch, we have got a massive problem. And Ineos have a decision to make. Of course they do. Of course they do. Ineos have got a big decision. It's 50-50 in the chat tonight. Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. Respect. Respect. You're not going to get any opposition from me. It's a decision. It is a decision, and it probably is 50-50. Respect. You know what I think. I'm not going to impose it on you. God, no. We are in a shit show at the moment. We are a shambles. That's 4-0 to Crystal Palace. That's another loss. It's been a horrific season for Manchester United. You make your decision. You make your choice. Respect. Ineos have got a big, big decision to make. And all I'm going to say to you tonight, I refuse to wander into Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, because it gets toxic. It does. It's a big conversation. But what I will say is this. Whoever the manager is of this football club in the summer, I don't care if it's Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out. Make the choice. Respect. Make your decision. Ineos, make your decision. You lot, respect. Make your decision. But this and this alone, please, for the love of God, fuck off at least 10 of these players. At least 10, get rid. Because if the manager has to... Look, I don't want Tuchel. I do not. If you're getting rid of Ten Hag, please get De Zerbi. Please get Amorim. Do not get Tuchel. I do not want him anywhere near our football club. If we're changing the manager, do it, but don't get Tuchel and don't get Southgate. Please don't. If they do, I'll have to get on with it. But if we do change the manager or we do keep the manager, please fuck off most of these players. Please do it. I cannot go through another 2 or 3 years of the manager being the problem and we sack the manager. It can't just be the manager. I respect the Ten Hag outers. Look, it's not acceptable. I get it. And that was inevitable if we lost tonight. Of course, I get it. I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't do it. I think you can finish 8th and have a shit season because of injuries and be a good team next season under under Ten Hag. I really do. Maybe under Tuchel as well. But I wouldn't change the manager. I really wouldn't. But if you do, fine. I get it. But please do not sack the manager and then give us a new manager and keep all these players again and go, it's not the players, it's the manager. I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that. I cannot deal with that because I know what will happen. You bring in a new manager and these players will go, it wasn't our fault, it was the manager's fault. Let's try hard for a year like they've done for the last 6 years. Different players sometimes, but it's the same thing. They will start trying again for a year or so and then they'll down tools again. Because players don't change their type. We spoke about this last night. They don't change what they are. Elite mentality players wouldn't play like that tonight. They wouldn't do it. Injury crisis or not, they wouldn't do it. Weak mentality players will. They're capable of playing for 3 or 4 months well, but they're also inconsistent. We have to clear the fucking deadwood. And if we don't, it doesn't matter who the manager is. So, Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. I'll make a statement. I don't fucking care. I really do not care. Life's too short. I really, individually, am at a point where I would say, I don't care. Argue amongst yourselves. I'll just be here as the mediator to talk about the pros and the cons. For me, I wouldn't do it because we've done it every single time. And I'd like to see a different path. I'd actually be quite excited if we said, we're keeping Ten Hag, we're getting rid of players. I'd be quite excited about that because we haven't done that. But if they do as I expect and they sack the manager and they bring a new guy in, please, for the love of God, fuck off most of these players. Don't bring a new manager in who goes, oh, remember the bad guy who used to manage you? I'm here now. Cheap. I don't want to do that. I have to see a clear out of these players. And look, we had somebody in the chat. I must bring this in. Somebody in the chat said, oh, are you going to blame it on Rashford? Mate, do you think Rashford tonight makes us win that game? Fuck off. He's running around on the left wing the same as everybody else. He's not going to be at fault for any of the goals. What are you talking about? Why are you individualising this about one player? If you want to individualise this about one player we did miss today. And one player alone. And look, of course we miss Martinez. We haven't got any bloody centre-backs. Of course we miss Varane. Of course we miss Maguire. Of course we miss Luke Shaw. We know all those things. But one player we really did miss today was Bruno Fernandes. You can be anti-Bruno. You can be pro-Bruno. And of course Bruno hasn't played that well this season. But for God's sake, if you don't see the value of Bruno Fernandes tonight, you're blind. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win that game, and we're certainly not. But the captaincy of Bruno Fernandes tonight, you can see it a mile off. Like, we were fucking rudderless. We were shit, but we were rudderless. There was you know what? It was almost like Man United players had a magnet on their chin and the opposite magnet was on the floor. It was heads down, no belief, no confidence. It was men against boys. And, when I look back through football, I've seen Wimbledon beat Liverpool in the FA Cup final in '88. I've seen Wrexham beat Arsenal in the FA Cup when they were in the lower leagues. We've all seen giant killings, and they happen because the underdog is together, motivated, and focused. An underdog can beat a giant. A David can beat a Goliath. But the David has to be motivated together and focused. They were cowards tonight. We were always going to lose that game. I knew we were going to lose that game. But we didn't necessarily have to lose the game if those players were motivated. They are individuals. They are islands. They are not Man United players. And I feel for Garnacho, and I feel for Mainu, and I feel for Rasmus, and to a certain extent I feel for Delo, because they are young players who I believe could be Man United players. They were crap. Like, I'm not protecting them. They were crap tonight. But they are young players with potential, but they were crap. But it's like in 1996, it would be like saying Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Paul Scholes, David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, Nicky Butt go out in there and win us the game. Without Roy Keane, Steve Bruce, Peter Schmeichel and Cantona, you're going to struggle. You can't send Garnacho, Rasmus and Mainu to go and win games. They do need the Roy Keanes and the Cantonas there to help them. But they haven't got any of that. They haven't got that. Then they're learning their trade and they're having to take on massive responsibilities. Kobe Mainu is 18, 19 as the holding midfielder in that team. It's an incredible responsibility for a massive football club. Tonight, we may as well have put Luton shirts on, and Luton are better than us. Like, we were not Manchester United. We really weren't. The result itself doesn't surprise me. It bothers me, but it doesn't surprise me. I'm not shocked by that. I've already been sent clips of videos of YouTubers and tweets from from Twitter, and people slamming and shouting and screaming. And honestly, respectfully, I think you're idiots. I'm sorry, they'll say worse than me. They'll personalise it. I'm used to that. But I genuinely do think you're idiots, because I don't think you understand football. Because if you couldn't look at that team tonight and see that result, then I don't think you understand football. And I called it yesterday. I knew we'd lose. I hoped for a shock, but I knew we would lose, because we're a team of misfits. But what I will concede is I'm disgusted with the players. As I said, for the third time, they are on tens, hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. The cost to reimburse those fans tonight won't cover one of those players' wages. Do it. Do it. Like, don't clap them. Fucking pay them. Pay them the fucking money back. Because that was cowardly football. We should have lost that game 2-0. 2-0 would have been the right scoreline. 4-0 is a fucking joke. And look, can I just spend 20 seconds on this? Because I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about this. And it's not about Man United. The beautiful game, football. I have That's Football. I'll be doing watch-alongs for the Champions League tomorrow night and Wednesday night. I love football. I was at Solihull Moors at Wembley yesterday with Seb. I love football. I love Man United. It's a hard watch, but I love football. The way that refereeing and officiating has gone over the last season has been a disgrace. It's been a stain on the game. An absolute stain on the game. And there is no way that if the referee did his job today, we would have won that game. No way. But that is not a foul by Rasmus on Henderson. And I would implore every United fan to go and watch the James Trafford foul for Burnley in January. And the numerous set pieces Arsenal have scored, and the numerous times Vicario has had further contact on him, and it's still been a goal against Spurs. That was not a foul. So I must put this in here because that officiating tonight was a shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. As much as we've seen all weekend, Liverpool game, Arsenal game, it's a shambles. I have to say it because it was a shambles. There was also a point where Mainu played it into Rasmus and he was definitely fouled from behind and it was just play on. Inexplicable shit officiating. But that's a little section in itself. It's not an excuse. That's just me doing what I do on the podcast and stuff. The officiating is a fucking joke in the Premier League. It's a disgrace. And just because you lose 4-0 doesn't mean that you don't mention the fact that the officiating was a joke. But credit to Crystal Palace. They deserve to win the game. Michael Elise, yes. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Definitely take him at Man United. Fantastic player. Crystal Palace have to do a lot of work. Definitely would take him at Manchester United, 100%. Let's do the player ratings. I just want to talk about Ten Hag very, very quickly. I don't blame the manager tonight because I was a hypocrite if I did. I said before the game, if we win the game, I'm not crediting the manager. And if we lose the game, I'm not criticising the manager because for me, the team's a joke. It's a misfits. I mean, if we win that game, there's nothing to work with. If you lose the game, it's predictable. I just think in my opinion, respectfully, that's not the game where you decide to sack Ten Hag. That's the game where you go, fucking hell, this team's shit. We've got no back four. We've got no left back. We've got no holding midfielder. It was inevitable that we would lose that game. What's not acceptable is to lose it 4-0. And the reason we lost it 4-0 is because Onana is fucking rubbish and Casemiro and Eriksen are just rubbish as well. Like, it's just every one of their goals was a mistake. If you look at it, it really was. But Palace deserved to win the game. On Ten Hag, very quickly before I do player ratings, because it's going to be very quick. We can't do player ratings for you tonight, by the way. It's broken, unfortunately. Apologies for that, but we have got the fan forum coming in after this. Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. Look, for me, I'm consistent. At some point, I'll probably be in the minority. In fairness, it's 50-50 on the poll, and we have got, 53,000 votes. So that's a significant amount of people. 50,000 people, 50-50. So I get that. I'm not arguing about it. Personally, I'd stick with Ten Hag. I would, because I just think the injury crisis is incredible. The clear out needs to be magnificent. And there is no structure. There is no CEO. There is no director of football. I mean, what is it we're fighting for at the moment? Of course, the results are completely and utterly unacceptable. But for me, we're at the bottom of the barrel. We're absolutely shit. I don't expect anything positive. We've got to climb out the barrel. I personally think we may as well climb out of it with Ten Hag. I accept you can sack the manager. I ain't fucking saying he's staying. For God, he probably will get sacked. But for me, I would clear out players first before the manager. And there is an element of stubbornness to that, but that's my opinion. If you have a different one, I completely understand it at this point. What I would say is, and I'm not going to let this go, absolutely disgraceful from the mainstream again. Before the game, Manchester Evening News journalist Samuel Luckhurst, disgusting about Martial. Disgusting. Talking about broken toenail or, something else. I just thought, I can't believe it. I cannot believe that you would have a chief correspondent for a journalistic paper called the Manchester Evening News that has been associated with Manchester United since the days of Sir Matt Busby, and their chief correspondent is writing slanderous shit about Anthony Martial, who's not been fit all season. Just incredible. Like, what's Rashford's injury? Like, what's McTominay's? Why is it Martial? Like, it's disgusting. And this is why I love this community, because there will be very differing opinions, but in the main, it will be based upon fairness. I don't want to do this. I do want to do this. But how is Anthony Martial responsible for tonight? I just don't know. Mark, like you say, I'm going to read some of your comments. I'm going to quickly go through player ratings, even though it will be verbal. Mark, like you say, difference between players and fans. We would play for nothing and put in more effort. Look, tonight it's on the players for me, Martin. Look, and that will be proved in the player ratings. Ten Hag in until tonight. He didn't even clap the fans with the players. Embarrassing reaction. Fans deserve much more, says Mike. Yeah, Mike, I get that. But Casemiro clapped the fans. Onana clapped the fans. What does clapping the fans mean? You were fucking shit, lads. Like, I get that. A lot of people are very in on that. Let's clap the fans. For me, pay the fucking fans. You know, maybe Ten Hag was running out to pay him. I don't know. Play Amas instead of Casemiro, says Rishik. 13 losses is damning, says United 1. No game plan. It's hard to have a game plan, mate, when you haven't got a structure to your team, I must admit. Nathan Harvey, thanks for the gifted membership. Come on, speed up a bit. It's sad to think we may end up with the lowest ever points for a single season. May we have the clear out we need and build upon it, says Edward. Yeah, could be our worst ever Premier League points total, which is damning. Onana out, says Barry. Look, for me, if you want a Ten Hag negative, the Onana thing, never... I hate saying I told you so. And I could do it loads. I hate it. Because I wouldn't sack the manager. But the Onana thing, it's there in written and video. I never agreed with it. Never agreed with it. I don't want to be right, but I never agreed with it. We never should have let De Gea go. We never should have done it. Ree says, honestly, just play the kids against Arsenal. Yeah, part of me wants to lose to Arsenal so that they've got a chance of winning the league, but we've got no chance of getting 6th place anyway, have we? Would you buy Ramsdale to replace Onana? Well, he's better. Henderson's better than Onana, and on basic goalkeeping skills, we should never have let De Gea go. Never in a million years. Right, player ratings. We've got the fan forum to come. Player ratings is going to be really quick. Onana, 2. The 2 of those goals are inexplicable. The Mateta one and the second Elise goal, inexplicable. 2 out of 10. 6 is the average. Delo, 4. And Evans, 4. Not fit. Obviously, Johnny Evans, I'm not going to have a pop at Johnny Evans because I think he's not fit and he's done it for the club. 4. Casemiro, 3. How many times are we going to see Casemiro playing like he's playing on the beach? Strolling up to take an important penny and penno and whacking it down the middle. You know, tackling Casper the Ghost. Should be running it out for a goal kick. Fucking terrible. Attitude. Joke. Going through the motions. Not focused. Not concentrating. Wan-Bissaka, 3. Doesn't look like he thinks he's going to be here in the summer. Not focused at all. Eriksen, 3. Dreadful. Dreadful. Mainu, 4. Again, even he is getting dragged down now, and this is the fear. You've got these young players that get dragged down to the level of the senior players. Mount, 4. Don't know why somebody thought he had a good game. Probably not fit, but didn't play well. Anthony, 3. Getting subbed off at Amrabat's bloody embarrassing. Garnacho, 4. Not really in the game, but way below level. Rasmus, probably a 3. You know, miles off what you'd expect. Just inexplicable. And, you know, I don't give a shit about the subs. Ten Hag, look, you've just been beat 4-0 by Crystal Palace. It's got to be a 2. Got to be a 2. I don't know. To be fair to Ten Hag, I don't know what else he could do. I mean, I think that's the big question. I looked at it tonight and I thought, if Sir Alex was in charge, and that's a long time ago, but what would he do? And then I thought, well, let's bring it more modern. What would Pep Guardiola do? And I thought, you know what? We might not lose 4-0 with Pep, but you're still going to lose. You can't get that team to play a high line. You can't get it to press high up the pitch. You can't get it to play 70, 80% possession. Like, I don't know what Ten Hag can do tonight. But I also can't sit here and say, if you want to sack him, you're wrong. Because it's a horrific situation to be in. But I don't think tonight is the reason. Tonight doesn't make me go from Ten Hag in to Ten Hag out. Like, that's not what does it. I look at tonight and I just go, shower of shit with the players that are injured and shower of shit on the pitch. if I was a manager, I wouldn't want to be picking Casemiro or Wan-Bissaka or Eriksen because they've checked out. They think they're going in the summer and you can see it on the pitch. I wouldn't want to be picking Johnny Evans because he's not fit. So there's 4 players on that pitch I don't want to pick. But I can't pick anybody else. I don't think there's anything else I can really do. But on the other hand, we're Manchester United. And there has, as I've always said, same with Chelsea as well. I mean, actually, I'm blaming Onana for the 3rd goal as well. I think he should save the Elise first goal. He's not hit it well. He sort of half hit that. Now, that's a save. That's a save. Onana's got to save that as well. He's got to save 3 of them. He's got to save 3 of those goals. 3. I didn't realise that. I think he's got to save 3 of them. I really do. I really do. Let's go over to the fan forum because there'll be very different opinions on there. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. You're absolute legends. Respect either way. Get your comments in and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Let's get onto the fan forum. Take care.